Welcome to a comic book look. We are your weekly comic book show. We're talking about comic books, and we got a ton of them here that we're going to talk about tonight. We talk about anything related to the industry, odds and ends. You want it, you've got it. Let us know if you have any topics you want us to talk about. I'm John, and over here we got Tom, host extraordinaire.
That's right, that's me.
And issue 13, lucky 13. I bet we have 13 comics on it. I don't even know how many we have. Yep. 13. That's our theme today.
This is our DC New 52 extravaganza. We've talked about it before, but I think this is going to be like combining books from
last week and this
week 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
because we even got Stormwatch in here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, we're going to just be talking about straight DC.
Call this a shotgun episode. We're just going to be...
Yep. Shotgun comic reviews, and I made sure that John didn't add any shitty Marvel books.
No, I got some awesome DC books, though. You guys would be so proud of me, my pickup stacks the past few weeks.
Yeah, I am proud of you, man.
It's been a great set of reads, too. So, well, let's get right into it. What do you got?
Okay, well, let's start it off. We got Red Hood and the Outlaws.
Number 1.
I totally picked this up on a whim. We both read it, and I wasn't planning on buying this at all. I mean, people who are on the Inveterate Media Junkies, I put my pull list there, and they would notice that this wasn't here. But, when you go through, you get to that comic shop, and you see the wall. I was looking through them, and I was like, I should pick up one more.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like the Red Hood, always have. Haven't always liked Roy, the junkie, but I've always loved Starfire. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to look through it. Scott Lobdell is the guy who wrote it, and he's pretty infamous for 90s X-Men comics, as he wrote a lot of those, and some of them were good, some of them were wordy, some of them were really emotional, and, maybe that wasn't something that I always liked, but, I was nervous going into this, having him write it, and I liked it. I mean, I thought it was good. I flipped through it, and I said, if it has good art, I'm gonna check it out. So I just flipped through the first and second page, and I was like, this art is good enough that I will definitely take it. It's kind of original style, kind of, I don't know, a lot of little details that aren't perfect, but it makes it for a really cool kind of stylistic image. And I ended up liking it a lot. I had a few things that I didn't like about it, but other than that, the basic story is Roy, who is Speedy, who was, Green Arrow's sidekick. He's had trouble with addiction and everything else. He ended up being caught by a prison, and a really shady prison, and Red Hood had to come in and rescue him, right?
Yep. That's pretty much the gist of it. And the interesting thing I thought, is kind of a cool rescue scene or whatever, and then, oh, there's Starfire just kind of clearing the path, and what a take on that character. Don't get me wrong, you guys. Like, my DC exposure just started a couple weeks ago, but Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go!
The show, Starfire in this book.
Not the same.
Whoa!
Not the same.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my, and she's like, do you want to have sex with me, pretty much, and. She's like, the one thing it's never about with Tamarinians is not about love. Pow! Like, what a female player,
yeah.
So it's a very cold. I mean, great physique and whatnot, but she's very cold and not as warm of a character as I'm used to in Teen Titans the cartoon. But DC is turning over a new leaf, maybe.
But she has been a lot deeper. I mean, obviously you don't have the
I don't have the background with that.
But I mean, she has. I mean, her and Dick Grayson were together for a long time, and it was a big relationship, and they were definitely in love. And so I mean, she has been mature in the past. But I mean, Kenneth Rocafort, who did art, like I said before, I did like when it comes to Starfire. I don't know if it was a mandate or whatever, but I mean, they just so skimpy clothes. And then there's just like a page that is just for fanboys to be like, oh man, that bitch is hot. It's like, okay, maybe too much of that.
I had a feeling this is something you probably didn't like about the issue, but I mean, for me, for me, it was a shell shock. I mean, but
yeah, me, and that's fine because I'm so for female characters being confident, being who they are, not you know, if she wants to sleep with someone, that's her own fucking deal, dude. I have no problems with that, and that is just fine with me. It just, you know, the artist portraying her as being in these skimpy scenes. You know, whatever. It is what it is, and I still liked it. I've always liked Jason Todd. He is the old Robin. That's Red Hood and Outlaws. Red Hood is the old Robin. Nice. Jason Todd. In the 90s, they had a thing where you read your comic, you can call into DC, and you voted. Does Robin live or does Robin die? Ended up he chose that he died. And so that's what the fans chose, because a lot of people didn't like Jason at first as Robin. So then he dies from the Joker killing him with a crowbar, and that has been brought up in so many times since, you know, that it's always a running thing. And in turn, he came back from the life and became the Red Hood, which is from the Killing Joke. Joker was the original Red Hood. And so, you know, he has definitely turned it into his own. Usually Judd Winnick is the Red Hood guy. And so Scott Lobdell is writing it, and it ended up being very good. And I mean, I would definitely, let's do a rating. 5 stars. I give it 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it probably about a 3 out of 5. I mean, it wasn't a title that drove me to pick it up. You know, I picked up some different ones, but some of mine, not a lot of them, half of them weren't, you know, things that I'd probably continue. Would you continue on
so
that,
are you going to pick?
Or?
I think I'm going to see at least. I'm gonna follow the first arc at least, but this is right on the border of Dropland. You know, so
absolutely
that might be getting dropped. But who knows? But it was an okay book. Up next, that was way too long.
Yep, sorry, guys. It's supposed to be a shot.
Yeah, it was a shotgun round. I mean, that was like a sniper rifle shot.
Put it out of its misery. Well, anyways, we were talking about this last week. You know how I feel about Harley Quinn. So if anybody sees her, I want an autograph on this. It was a cool issue. Suicide Squad #1, of course. Great issue. I thought it was a cool look for her. I never had a problem with her previous costume either, because it was just fun, and she's a fun character, and just. I liked it. I have no qualms with it. The interrogation scene, there were some complaints about it being too long. I thought it was kind of a cool way to kick off the series. Cool. Introduce the team kind of thing. It ended up being, spoiler, it ended up being just a test to see who'd actually make the team, and just bloody. And that's one thing I've noticed about the DC books, with this kind of being at the top of it, just how bold of a direction that they're taking with these books. You know, the dialogue.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
The blood,
and a lot of it's flying. Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, this is a bloody book.
Yeah,
this is a bloody book.
I don't think there's one in here that's not. We got a few more coming up.
I was going to say, Batgirl was a bloody book that we talked about. Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, they are definitely taking
gates are up and
hardcore.
They're running.
And you know, I like fun comic books, so I don't want to see all my books have blood.
Right.
But
we'll see how they evolve, though.
You know, when if they do it right, it's good. And yeah, I mean, and you know, her costume in the front is very, very different. And I mean, her boobs are falling out, and you know, like I said with Starfire, I don't always like that. But I mean, when you're reading through these panels, her costume isn't that different. I mean, she has different hair. She doesn't, you know, have the hat, but
one-piece suit.
One-piece suit.
Yeah, like they switched it up there.
But I mean, it isn't as bad as you would think on this cover. You know, seeing this cover, and she's, you know, she's still herself, and it's still. I mean, Harley Quinn is she was a character invented in the animated series for Batman TV show. She got brought into the comics from the TV show.
That's awesome.
And I mean, she is. I mean, everybody loves Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
You know, even my daughter who's 4 loves Harley Quinn.
Maybe she'll see that cover in a few years. So.
She's not going to be seeing that cover. That's not the Harley Quinn.
A few years as in 20.
Yeah, that's not the Harley Quinn. But yeah,
we don't talk about that Harley Quinn. Shotgun. Next, we got Birds of Prey #1. I'm a sucker for covers, and I picked this one up because, you know, I kind of like Poison Ivy a little bit. Oh, she's not even in the issue. Thanks, DC. So, with that in mind,
I didn't read this
I'm getting familiar with characters I'm not really familiar with, like Black Canary, and then someone else. I just, you know, there's another. I don't know, like they're just putting the team together. Katana's another one I'm not familiar with. So all you DC guys out there, guys and gals, out there that are familiar with some of these other characters on the team, get at me on Facebook, shoot me an email, let me know what's going on, because I don't know, I was just kind of like, what's going on with this issue? It was a good issue, but for me, I was just kind of clueless and kind of bummed that I didn't get to see Poison Ivy. Shotgun.
Yeah, I hear that. And, I mean, I haven't read this yet, but Dwayne Swarzynski, who's, you know, he wrote novels and did G.I. Joe and is famous for doing Cable. Or not famous, but he did Cable at Marvel, and he's wrote comic books before, so I'm sure he could probably weave a decent tale.
It was a good book. I wanted to, I guess, for me, 3.5.
Yeah. I didn't read it, so I can't judge. Next one. Blue Beetle. We've talked about him before, and of course I bought it because I love Blue Beetle. I'm not a big fan of Tony Bernard. Tony Bernard, you're probably awesome, but I just, like, every book I read, you just never really wow me. You never have that thing. And I really wanted Blue Beetle to have that, and it just seems like it was just too much. I mean, I love Jaime being on the level, and I loved his school shots, him with Paco, I loved all that. But when you get into all this other stuff with space and the Scarab and all these other things, yes, you could probably, a writer could probably make it good, but you got to do it right. And I just wish that it was more almost street level Blue Beetle stuff. And so, although it was Blue Beetle, my favorite character, and I've been begging for a Blue Beetle series, this wasn't what I wanted to start it out as. And as much as I say that, I'm going to pick up the next issue because I freaking love Blue Beetle.
Well, let's hope it redeems itself. I hear you, though. I mean, some of those, it's a disappointment. If I ever get a bad issue of Alpha Flight, which I haven't so far.
Yeah, right.
But if I ever did, I would be very, very doom and gloom as well. I read it as well. I'd give it probably about a 2 out of 5, to be frank with you, just because it was too much happening, kind of bouncing out. Oh, we're going to go to a party. Oh, there's a blue bug in outer space. A Green Lantern intercepts it. WTF. I mean, this book really let me down, I guess, a little bit, because Tom boasted so much about Blue Beetle that I was looking forward to meet him my first time. And not a good introduction.
No, it isn't a good introduction, especially because Jaime is such a cool character that they should have really concentrated more on him. Jaime Ramirez is the Blue Beetle, and that's who I'm talking about. But yeah, disappointed as well, and I would probably say, you know, I'm going to give it a 3-star, just because Blue Beetle's in it. If Blue Beetle wasn't in it, and it was, you know, I don't know, Red Tornado, I would think it was a 1-star. Yeah. So, you know, that's not good, but whatever. Shotgun.
Exactly. Next round.
Deathstroke.
Number 1.
What do you think of this?
What a mean guy. And this is exactly why I got the Titans series, you know, that just ended recently, you know. Great character, just ruthless, spoiler, kills his whole team at the end of the issue. No complaints about this book at all. At the end of Titans, they warn you, okay, the Psycho's coming back. Yeah, no doubt. Great book. I'm hoping number 2 doesn't drop the ball on there, because we've seen that happen from time to time, but what a great start. I mean, that is definitely, I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5? Wow.
I thought it was great. I thought he just went all out on that. He got his badass factor back, and I liked it a lot, so.
Agreed. I love that last comment you said. Got his badass factor back.
Because he was going soft for a while.
Exactly. This is Deathstroke, okay? Read Identity Crisis. They portray Deathstroke as how I think he should be. He is the best mercenary. He's not afraid to go up against the whole Justice League by himself. He has lightning quick reflexes, he's super strength, and these aren't any things that they really explained. These are just things you just understand about Deathstroke. Yeah. I've never really liked his costume. Slade has always been a good character, though. Yeah. And this comic, you're right, blew me away. I watched this interview before with Kyle Higgins. He's the writer of this, and Joan Bennett drew it, and Art Thibert, I'm sure, did inks. And, you know, I'd say I'd give the art just a 3. Yeah. You know, it wasn't anything special, but I'd definitely give the writing, you know, 4.5. So overall, I give it a 4-star. And I watched this thing with Kyle Higgins where he talked about how he's liked Deathstroke in the past, but yes, he has been weak. He seems that people can beat him. Yeah. I mean, the thing that you need to realize about Slade is, yes, he's an assassin and you can hire him, but he doesn't lose. He's still around, and you know, you may be able to figure out a way, but you know, he's not somebody that is easily defeated. In my continuity. And so when I do see him where he is, you know, he's kind of like a laughing you know, a character to be laughed at or a villain to be laughed at, I think it's horrible. Yeah. And this book is totally not like that.
Cutthroat. I love it.
Oh, I mean, so the story goes, he has a group of friends. Or not a group of friends, but he gets hired for a job. He has to work with these other people.
And they're all youngins.
They're all youngins. They're all trying to,
which he dates all at once.
Yeah. And you just, like, the quiet moments. There's quiet moments where they just show Deathstroke's face, and you just, like, understand. Very good writing, Kyle Higgins, where we needed that break to show that Deathstroke is, like, is using his patience to even get through working with these fools.
Yeah.
And so, in the end, I mean, spoiler, you're hating these people already. And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have to frickin' have a series with Deathstroke and these idiots.
It's like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. And then, in the last 3 pages, after the mission is finished, Deathstroke just kills all of his people that were on his team. And that is Deathstroke. You don't like him. He is not a likable character.
I like him. You know how I feel about bad guys.
Oh. But he's not a likable character. I mean, he does bad things. You know, he is bad. There's not that, like, redeeming quality about, like, some villains, you know, where he's trying to do good. I mean, he is a bad person. He does bad things, and he does it for money, and he cannot be beaten. So, yes, you like the character because you like people doing bad things.
But if he killed me, I wouldn't.
But, you know, like, I'm just saying, if you met him in real life, you wouldn't be like, oh, man, you're the nicest guy. You know.
Can I get you a beer?
Yeah. Deathstroke will probably take a beer from you, but
probably.
You know, it was very good. I like that he's still old. You know, this is a reboot, and he still has gray hair, and you know, and so I really like that.
This one will do well.
But yeah, I agree. I didn't buy it. I didn't even buy this. John bought it, and I will be buying this now.
Good.
Yep, because Kyle Higgins he's a rising star in DC. He hasn't wrote a lot, but everything he writes, he's done very well, and I think that's something we should look out for is Kyle Higgins. You know, I'm going to definitely hit him up, you know, let him know how good this is, and because it was a really cool book. All right, now we're going back in the past. This is week 1. Stormwatch. I was very excited for this book because I'm looking at Apollo and Midnighter, very famous, you know, from Wildstorm's Authority comics, and Martian Manhunters in Stormwatch with them. I just think that's so cool. Stormwatch is, you know, their thing where they look over the whole entire world. And granted, it was a little different, and they're not on board yet, and there was some different things. The art wasn't, you know, amazing. But overall, I did like it. I really like Martian Manhunter. He may be a C-class character, but I'm a big fan of Martian Manhunter. I'm a big fan of, you know, the Authority. I'm a big fan of Apollo and Midnighter, and in this, they haven't really even met before. And in the other books, I mean, they're a bona fide couple. So it's really different to, you know, see this where they haven't been playing on any of this. But it is Paul Cornell, and so you got to trust him. He's writing it, and he always does a good job. So, you know, I will get the next one still.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, this one's on me, and I told you for weeks that I was going to be getting this. Red Lanterns, a.k.a. the best Lantern Corps in the galaxy. I was going to say the world, and that would be stupid. So anyways, the issue itself gets a 2 out of 5 for me.
2 out of 5, so not good.
You know, content.
What is it? Pete Milligan and Ed Benes?
I had no problem. Like, you know, the portrayal of the characters, fine, that's cool and all. It just didn't do a lot for me, to be honest with you. If I do get the second issue, it's probably just going to be like, where in the world is this going?
Yeah, dude, don't even get the second issue. It was just, you know?
I mean, it's a badass character. You know, the corps are a little strange. You know,
what did you give it out of 5 stars?
2.
2. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, like, it just, I don't know.
Was
like,
the cat in it?
The cat was in it.
Did he puke blood?
Yes.
Well,
and so, you know,
that brings it at least to a 2-star.
Right. So that's probably why I gave it a 2-star. But all in all, do I recommend it? If you're bored with Green Lantern, why not switch colors? Then go for it. But not a priority for me. Save some money. Save a tree. Don't get it. Shotgun.
And but I mean, you guys don't understand. I mean, DC knew 52. Were we expecting them to bring out 52 5-star books?
Yeah.
I wish, but it's not going to happen.
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't terrible, you guys. If you want to get more familiar with the Lanterns, period, check it out. But Only if you're bored on a rainy day.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Red Lanterns. I mean, I think anybody knew going into this that this wasn't going to be...
I had high hopes.
It wasn't going to be the greatest book. It's Red Lantern. You paid everybody. I mean, what else more is there?
I know.
Whatever. Next up, Judd Winnick.
Catwoman #1. Totally awesome book. I can't stress this enough. Did you read this?
Yep, I read that too.
Wow, you got everything. You got the explosions, you got the sex at the end. It's just the shameless fatale that I needed.
Yep,
and it is so good to meet you, Catwoman. Like, I'll give you my number. All right. Thank you, DC. What a great portrayal of the character. I'm excited about this book. This is one that I am going to continue getting. I liked it.
I liked it as well. I didn't read this issue. I read it earlier in the week, and I read this issue, just not this copy. That's why he asked that. But I also think it was cool. I mean, Judd Winnick came out, and he knows who we know who Catwoman is, right. But when you boil her down, I mean, she is sexy.
Yeah, and she knows it.
She steals because she's almost bored.
Yeah. And,
I mean, all the main things are still in here. Judd Winnick, he's always able... I mean, this is the kind of character that he excels at. Yeah. And it's a very character-driven piece, and I really liked it. The art was definitely acceptable, and there were some pages that were exciting and some that weren't that exciting, but, the story was good enough that I kept me all the way through. Yeah. And... it had a good cliffhanger at the end, and Batman's brought in right away, and but it's still so sexy.
It does.
I liked it as well. I like Catwoman, and I hope other people. I would definitely.
I hope it's a strong line, though. I mean, I really, some of these real strong ones we've talked about so far, and some of the ones coming up, they just continue that quality, and I just, I would say, I don't want to say it's difficult to do that, but when you start handing it off to different writers, artists, I'm praying that some of these lines just keep that quality. Like, I'm fired up about it, and I've only read one issue of this. Like, I'm a DC newbie, and I'm just all 4th of July about this. Shotgun, next.
Yeah, but it is cool. So now we're down to 3 books left, and these are my favorite 3 besides Animal Man. We already talked about it, but awesome. This is my favorite book still. Even after reading everything, it's still my favorite book. These 3, the next ones we're going to talk about are going to be favorites as well. We'll talk about the worst out of the 3, and by worst, I still mean it's awesome. Nightwing. Gave Kyle Higgins his due earlier. Once again, Kyle Higgins is writing this.
Ask and you shall receive.
It is a great book. It's still in continuity. He is Nightwing. He used to be Batman.
And he talks about that a lot, which I appreciate.
And he talks about it. This is such a good #1 issue.
Yep.
He talks about his past. It is completely delved into the circus is there right away. How the timelines have been compressed. This is the first time that his circus has been in Gotham since the tragic accident, where his parents died in the circus. They're trapeze artists, and that's why Nightwing or Dick Grayson, he does 100 flips all the time. He's flipping and flying and all these things, just because he's an acrobat. That's what he was trained in the circus, and so this circus goes back. He's talking to himself as if he should go and see his friends that have been in the circus before. Ends up doing it, and a lot of things are happening along the way, and it's bloody. Once again, this is another bloody book, but
bold book, very bold book.
Kyle Higgins spins a good tale. I love the character of Nightwing. Dick Grayson, Chuck Dixon did a lot with him, and I really liked it then. And him turning into Batman was something I loved. A lot of people didn't always like it, but I seriously loved it, and I love the idea of having 2 Batmans. So so this is all taking place after Batman Incorporated, which is still going on and will go on for a little bit longer. And so you got to kind of piece it together, but you don't need to. You don't even need to worry about that stuff, because this is such a good jumping on point. Yep. And for being these #1 issues, a lot of them are trying to tie these old things in. And this ties these old things in, but it still explains it to any new reader. And I just really liked it. Kyle Higgins, he's a rising star, and he's going to be big. And I think I can't wait to read more from what he has to write.
I kind of wish that the Blue Beetle issue would have adopted the formula.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, just to present it in a timely manner.
Timely manner and
appropriately, keep it interesting.
Exactly. Character driven.
Yeah.
You know, so much more character driven than these plot points with space and different things.
Right.
This was... Kyle Higgins is young. And I love young writers that are ready to get in. They're not bitter from the industry. And that's what's happening. And I really like it.
Thanks.
So then we'll go to the next one.
Okay.
The one that I made John buy, basically.
That's a spoiler in itself for all you guys on Facebook. People are like, is he going to buy it? Oh,
yeah, you are. And
the internet was talking about this one.
And it's the one that, you know...
I did buy it.
Exactly, but that's what you have to, because...
It was a good read.
Going into this, I thought this was going to be amazing. We're talking about Batman. Batman, #1. Scott Snyder, greatest Batman writer since... Besides, you know, I guess we've had Grant Morrison right now, but other than that, we haven't had an amazing writer like him since Greg Rucka and Brubaker, and it's great. I mean, it is an absolutely great first issue, and it's a Batman book, but it's a Batman world book. We got Damian, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, and Batman all together in one scene. All together.
It's a good look.
And it's, you know, I like that they're keeping that. I love that Damian is still Robin.
Yeah.
And I love that Damian is still a cocky ass.
Yeah.
Especially to
Tim.
Tim.
Always been that way.
Especially to Tim. I mean, to Tim Drake is Red Robin, and he's still Red Robin, and he's such a... I mean, Damian is Bruce Wayne's son, technically, who him and Talia... got it on somehow. I think Bruce was under, you know, like Ra's al Ghul put him under. Talia, his daughter, apparently had sex with him, and they had this baby. Bruce didn't know forever, and then Bruce ends up taking him from the League of Assassins and training him himself. And I guess, you know, Dick trains him a lot in the Batman and Robin series that I had John read. And then
Which
now,
is awesome.
Now in this, I mean, they're just pulling it right from it, and it is setting up Gotham as the villain. Everything is about Gotham. They talk about what you think Gotham is. And even though you see all these villains, we're talking, I mean, just on this front page here. Two-Face, Killer Croc, Pig, Freeze, Scarecrow, Riddler.
It's good.
I mean, just right away, right off the bat. Black Mask. You even got in the corner... what's the gangster puppet? I can't even remember his name. Oh my god, I feel like such an idiot for that.
We'll throw it at the bottom.
Oh my god, yeah, we'll throw it at the bottom because I'm so mad I forgot that. But I mean, they throw them all in, and
again, more blood.
Batman has to be taken out.
And ice blood.
And then Joker, it seems, comes and helps him.
Spoiler.
And they're like, what the hell? Joker's helping. That's what you're thinking. He goes and talks to Gordon. We get a great introduction to Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect Gordon, exactly what you'd like. I mean, Scott Snyder has the best handle on the Gordon family. Then, just for all us fanboys that are worried, that are thinking, where is it going to go? Are we really restarting Batman? He gives us a giant 2-page spread of the Batcave.
Answer is?
And yeah, and that's what we wanted though, because then we can see this is the Batcave that we know. I know all you Batman fans out there know. We have the lining canisters of all the old Robin suits and the old Bat suits, and anybody that's ever been a Robin gets their own mantle. That's always how it's always been. The dinosaur's still there, and then you even get all the Bat cars. You get Bat car from the movie. You get Bat car from Grant Morrison, you get the Bat bike, you get the new Bat car that we haven't seen yet, and I really, really appreciated just this page. Giving me the setting, giving me the mood, and I just really appreciated that they did that. Ends up being that Gordon's like, I saw on that tape that you fought alongside Joker. I'm sure that must have been just a mistake or something, that he wasn't looking at it correctly. And Batman's like, yeah, of course, you know, I wouldn't fight with the Joker. And it turns out Joker's still like joking around with him in the Batcave, and you're like, what the fuck? Did Batman take Joker from Arkham and put him in the Batcave? And you're pissed about that.
Yeah.
And then some crazy technology. It was
JK.
It was Dick Grayson the whole time. and it wasn't Batman, and he's like, so did I be a good Joker? And Bruce is like, you mean did you be a great psychopathic murderer? I guess. And it's just funny, and it pulls it together, leaves a good ending, and I can't wait for more.
Well, how about the ending, though?
Yeah.
Dick Grayson's name on the screen.
It's going to go somewhere else.
Does it correspond with Nightwing, perhaps, though? I mean, remember all the fighting and stuff? Like, because it was just
And it does correspond, because how much do they bring up talking about Gotham and Nightwing?
True.
And then how much do they talk about Gotham in this?
True.
And so at the end, Bruce is brought into a scene by the fact detective for GCPD, and they take a DNA document of fingernails under this dead person who's on the wall trying to figure out who it was, and that becomes a DNA. The last page is it's a DNA match with Dick Grayson, and so we'll see where it goes from here. I've read Batman long enough to know that Scott Snyder's not gonna have Dick Grayson fucking be killing anybody.
You don't know though, man.
No, I do know.
Dude, on the cover of Nightwing, his eyes are glowing red because he's evil, like a Red Lantern.
It's because he's Nightwing.
I'm just playing. We'll find out. Alright, I'm gonna let you introduce the last one here because this is an awesome situation we got going on here.
And this is a book that I posted on Inveterate Media Junkies right before I did this. Top 3 books: Animal Man, Batman, Wonder Woman. Brian Azzarello, Cliff Chiang, and they just drop you right into a Wonder Woman story where it's almost like they got all these other players going, and then Wonder Woman gets sucked in and just has to start helping. And she's still Wonder Woman. She's very confident with herself. She's known in the universe. They portray her as that. Some person gets a magical key, gets transmitted right to Wonder Woman's room. Wonder Woman's like, what the hell are you doing here? They trick her. The girl who gets transferred in there somehow gets teleported back with Wonder Woman, and then she has to start fighting these crazy monsters and stuff. And, it's cool. There's like different things that I wouldn't even see, like guys with these crazy talon legs, and I don't even know where these monsters are coming from. But it's really cool, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was great art, just by Cliff Chiang, like always. Brian Azzarello, I trust him, and I trust that he's going to take this somewhere really cool. And it was a great book. What did you think?
Did you have to kill the horses?
Yeah. I agree. That was messed up, man.
He was going to have a fit about this. It was a great book. Different direction.
Yeah, totally.
I don't think about killing horses when I think of Wonder Woman.
And I'm so glad they didn't go to Themyscira or wherever she's from, and they didn't
it was a good
play
direction.
on all that.
Yeah.
They expect you to know that Wonder Woman is Wonder Woman. Yeah. That's all you need to know.
She's just as bold and as confident in this book. I totally dig that. I'm excited to see where the series goes. Is it something that I'm going to pick up immediately? I don't know. I'm trying to watch the pocketbook a little bit. Sorry, my phone went off. But I'm trying to watch the pocketbook a little bit. I've got 6 titles on deck right now, and you've got,
I'm not even
20 million. But we'll do our best to maintain the coverage on the DC situation.
And I'm going to buy them. So he can always read them.
But Red Lantern's #2 probably won't be getting a review on this show. So all you Red Lantern diehards out there, you can stay tuned. But I probably won't be talking about it.
No. Yeah, but I'm excited. It's the new 52 from DC, and it is an exciting thing. And it's cool to have all these new books to kind of check out and see what direction they're going to go with. And
all in all, though, I think they're just doing marvelous.
Oh, me too.
It's the most exciting I've had.
Exactly. You pick up your stack and you read these DCs first, even though there's other good books. But just look at all these books. It's just there's so many
variety. There's choice.
And this isn't even counting the books right over there
last week and coming up next week.
And we're gonna come exactly. And we have Blackhawks next week that I've been talking about forever.
And Justice League Dark.
That's right, Justice League Dark. There's a lot of good ones coming. And
I think it's a great thing. My Marvel stack this week and last week. Like Thunderbolts, the jumping on issue, it was all right.
You did? You got Thunderbolts .1?
Yep, it was pretty good. I love Thunderbolts, so anything they put out, I'm gonna be all over.
I also love Thunderbolts. Yeah. I also love Jeff Parker.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna do the .1 issue.
No.
I don't need to jump on.
I don't blame you.
And I flipped through, And like for the first 3 pages of Thunderbolts .1, I saw that they were like showing old team members and different things, and it was like,
which is good for
jumping on readers, but it was like, I don't need this
I did
issue.
like that one-page spread, though, of the old team. That was a cool thing. Like, if I can make that into, like, a wallpaper for my computer, I'm going to do my best. But I did like that. You know, I'm a sucker for that old team. Oh, God, that's my bread and butter right there. Uncanny X-Men this week was really good. X-Men Schism 4 or 5.
Yeah, I don't... Hold on a sec. Will you talk about Wonder Woman? I mean, Batwoman? Okay, I don't even know where it is.
I thought we had, because I remember getting that picture. Or was that coming up or something?
Yeah, it was coming up or something. Okay.
Talk to me. What's going on with Batwoman?
I don't remember if we talked about Batwoman or not, but I just want to say Batwoman is an awesome issue as well.
It was great.
That's all I just wanted to say. I just want to make sure I didn't have it.
I think we did look at that, though, the artwork spread.
Okay, yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure, because we're talking about these new DCs, and I mean, that one needs to be brought up because it is amazing. So...
One notable issue, as well, that I did want to point out, Marvel, forgive me, is Uncanny X-Men. The
one that just came out today?
Yes.
I haven't read it yet.
What is it? 563 or something like that? I don't even... God, the numbers get up there. That series is actually ending soon, but that was kind of a really neat issue because tempers were flaring. Kitty Pryde's like, hey, Colossus, BRB, you know, sorry, you're the Juggernaut kind of guy now, and I don't know how I feel about that. You know, just... Everyone's just on edge, and it's finally a little excitement from the Marvel Universe. Like, Marvel's like, hey, we better kind of step it up because DC's whooping us in terms of content. X-Men Schism 4 or 5, another good issue.
Good.
Wolverine and Cyclops confrontation. When the Sentinel's about ready to blast them, they're fighting each other about Miss Jean Grey. And I don't know, like, I'm kind of curious to see where that goes, but DC won my heart for 2 weeks in a row.
Yep, and this is a known Marvel junkie.
Yeah. So I mean, the detox has begun.
It is cool though that DC's doing all this and putting all these out, and we really appreciate it. And it's fun to talk about them. I mean, everybody's talking about these books, and it's cool to go and see that everybody's talking about these books. And
we appreciate the negative and the positive feedbacks on these issues. Just kind of seeing what people think, how they're reacting to it. It's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So don't forget to subscribe, comment. You know, let us know what you think. Send us an email. We love hearing from you. You know, we talk comics all the time, and that's why we made this show. And, you know, we want you guys to be a part of this community. I hope you like the shows. You know, tell us what you want to change or what you would want different, or tell us what ideas you want, because, you know, we only want to grow and get better. Exactly, and we're just so tickled that we're at issue 13 already, and we've been getting some serious support from you guys on the various websites and YouTube itself, Facebook, great interactivity. Join us on Facebook if you'd like. Seriously, like we really get down and just talk about issues and stuff and hash it out. You can make fun of me for what I read. I don't care. Yeah. But, you know, the bottom line is that this is a community. This is an art form. This is a great storytelling medium, as Tom says. And the best. It's the best thing to talk about, too. Like, it makes my day when I get to talk about comics on Facebook, so... Or anywhere, you know, I do love talking about comics, so shoot us an email, Gmail, or acomicbooklook@gmail.com, and get us ready for our next email show. We love answering your questions. We got a few in there, and we appreciate those, and we'll be definitely getting to those. And, you know, Comic Book Look, our Facebook group, Inveterate Media Junkies, always the website to check out. But, yeah, we appreciate you coming, checking us out, let us know what you think, subscribe and comment. That's all we got for this time. This is our shotgun episode. Yeah. I think we did pretty good. Rounds were flying. That's right. Issue 13, man. We made it through, and another new 52. We can't wait for next week to get our new comics. It's going to be awesome. All right. We'll see you later, guys. Keep it comics.